welcome to another episode of Cosmic Conversations. I am your host, Marla Martenson, and today we have the coolest show for you. I am with Kate Yen, who is an animal communicator, healer, and coach, and I'm with Macy Martenson as well, right, Macy? Macy Einstein Martenson, because she's so smart. She's my soulmate and best friend, and Kate's gonna give us a little presentation, a little nugget of what she does. But so Kate, just tell everybody how you got into this and what you do. It is so cool.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I'm Kate Yen. I've been doing animal energy healing for about 8 or 9 years now, for a long time. And I got into it just from doing healing touch. Actually, I got trained in that at Scripps Green Hospital here in San Diego. And I just was interested in the healing arts. I do advertising and marketing, and I worked at a lot of ad agencies. So it was kind of a hobby at first. And I started volunteering at Petsmart and the Fund for Animals in Ramona, which now has been picked up by the Humane Society. So I worked with doing energy healing on animals, and I took healing touch for animals too. I went through all 4 levels of that program and back in 2010 or something, a long time ago. And I just love animals so much. I always grew up with cats, and so I felt a really special bond with them. And I started getting interested in animal communication and taking animal communication courses too, because doing the energy healing, I would start to get pictures, and it came very easily just in my mind. I would see pictures of things the pet liked, what they did for fun, just food, whatever they wanted to show me, especially the fun pictures where when they cross over too, they would show me funny things, especially where I volunteered at the Fund for Animals. There's a cat colony. So they were rescued off of an island where they were being exterminated. So and they were very feral, they looked like house cats, but they were feral cats that just had gone through a lot. And I started doing energy healing with them, and they would all sit in a circle or lay in a circle and just stretch out and love me just putting my hands out doing the healing. And I got to really know all their personalities and start working with people and their pets. And then with coaching, adding that component too. So now the energy healing, the animal communication, which would just come easily once we were connecting in the pet's energy field and their space, they would start to just kind of share what's been going on. And it just came very easily. And I learned how to tell the difference between really what my thoughts were and what a pet's thoughts were and what were coming through receiving from a pet. And with coaching, that was really cool that you and I went through that year-long training program with Nancy Levin, one of our Hay House authors.
Right. Me and Kate are certified life coaches. Nancy Levin, who is a master coach and Hay House author, where Kate works, and she had a coaching program. And I used to listen to Nancy on Hay House Radio and used to think, oh my God, she's so amazing. She knows the answer to everything. Whatever somebody calls a question, she knows what to say, how to take them through the process. And I thought, how can I be like Nancy? I always wanted to be a coach. And then shortly after I said that to myself, then I said to myself, God, I wish Nancy would have a training program, a certification program. And like 2 weeks later, she announced that she did. So last October, I started her certification program. It was a whole year, and Kate and I were paired up as I was one of her practice people. So she coached me through it, and we had so much in common. We're both energy healers, and I did also get certified as a Reiki animal healer as well. But I find it fascinating because I've tried to connect with, like, we have feral cats in our neighborhood, and I've tried to do them animal communication, and I don't get any messages.
Oh, you don't?
I've been energy healing a long time. So
how I've done it and work with pets and animals is sometimes it's up to them too. They have their free will, so they might not want to communicate. And so sometimes some pets are really easy to communicate with, and sometimes it's harder to communicate with an animal, or they don't want to communicate with you. I know at the Fund for Animals, Chewy, who is one of the coyotes, he wanted nothing to do with me at all, like didn't want to, just so I honor that too. But it's really about opening yourself up and sending the message through. And then it might not be in words or pictures. It might just be a sensation you get or a thought you have that is showing the feeling that they have, or what they're wanting to do or not. But it's kind of fun to do it. And it's really about believing you can do it. I think it's just knowing, hey, like, this is possible. There is more things possible, ways to communicate. And I feel like people are communicating with their pets all the time. You know, we're always talking to them.
Oh yeah,
And
me and Macy, I know what she wants, you know, and
right. And it's so much in communication, and there's different ways that you can communicate with them. And for me, sometimes I'll go sit outside if I know I have a session, and I'll just get a download, and we'll connect before even the session starts. Sometimes I'll start getting information and write it down. And a lot of times, or right after a pet has crossed over, I'll get messages to you and I'll relay that back to the client, or we'll just do it live through Zoom, like we'll do today with Macy. It's just, right. It's really my sessions that I do lately with the coaching component too. That's the human to pet connection, where they are holding energy for us. They really want to help us. And I invite everyone to really look at the relationship with your pet as a guide for you, and not just like a pet. And they're a best friend too, but they're also a guide. Maybe they are an angel here to send on earth in a pet form to help you get through this time in your life, to help you grow as a soul, and to learn the lessons you're here to learn. And right now is the time for us to step forward into our light and to be all that we can be. And our pets are here to help us with that part. And I really do believe they're super connected. And sometimes their illnesses reflect and mirror back what's going on with us. And that we've seen a lot with dogs who have anxiety. A lot of times I'm working with the dog. Oh, and mom has that too. She's got that anxiety going on, and they're kind of mirroring it for each other. So I started working with the pet, seeing what's going on with the pet, and all of a sudden the pet parent is going on about what they have going on. And with coaching,
maybe if a couple argues a lot in the house, and then it'll affect the pet too. They'll
Oh yeah, definitely. That energy that pet's going to hold on to it, be very nervous, be very anxious of what's going to happen next. I better. They take their jobs very seriously, if their environment. So if you have a dog, their environment is everything, and they don't have that layered aura like we do, where it's very protected, and they can sense everything going on. So the best thing you can do for them, I tell people, is just to be really centered and grounded yourself. Notice if your dog or your cat comes up to you, even if it's inconvenient for you at the time they're coming up to you. Maybe it's them being in tune with you, realizing you need a break. You need to take a deep breath in. You need to just know that life is great. You're okay. You're safe. And just chill for a minute and look into your pet's eyes, or hold their paw, or just bond with them. And really, how many of us make the time to sit with our pet every day, even for 5 minutes, and just connect and really stay present? It's really profound. And I know, even as a pet parent of a 19-year-old cat myself, he was a rescue from Petsmart, because I started at Petsmart just volunteering, and I rescued him from there. And he was from, he said he'd been returned a couple times. He was a little wild child where he would be up all night and everything. But I would say, oh my gosh, Perry, not now. Like, I'm busy. But then I would get a message like, I just want to give you a blessing for your day. I just want to check in with you. And I would get the message when I would be walking away, or when my own thoughts would be in a calm place, where I don't have that like rat brain going on with all these rat race type things. Like, got to get to work, got to do this. No, sometimes we have to just take a pause and connect with them and see what comes through. And it really is about raising your vibes so that you can start to recognize messages from that are coming in from them, because I do feel like they're always trying to communicate with us, but sometimes we don't get it. And so that's when the behavior issues come up, and they might start, having accidents where they're not supposed to be in the house, but maybe that's the only way that they can get our attention, that something needs to change. or there's been a disturbance in the house, or someone's not there anymore, and that's really troubling them. And sometimes there's a big change and we don't take the time to explain it to our pet. Or even we go on vacation and we don't let them know when we're going to be back, how many times the sun is going to rise and set before we come back. Just explain it in their terms. And really, we can be sending pictures to them too. So I invite people to communicate with their pet differently than just words too. You can be sending them a picture of the behavior you want them to do. For example, if you want them to sit next to you or sit in their bed and be calm, it's really fun. I love doing it. It's great work.
Yeah, my husband tells me, see, Macy and I are so connected. I mean, I found her on the street, back in 2011, and she follows me everywhere. I mean, it's just, we're so connected. If I leave to go to the grocery store or something, she goes to the backyard and waits in the back, like to hear my car coming, or she'll wait. And so he tells me that even before my car's pulling in the driveway, like 5 minutes before, she starts running around, like she knows when I'm coming back. Mm-hmm. It's interesting.
Yeah, that's the thing too. And that's where, if I've worked with lost pets too. And what I tell people is that they're connected to you in your heart. There's like this, and if you can imagine an energetic tube of white light from your heart to the heart of your pet, you can just use that as a guidepost to tell them where you're at or where you're going to be, or to come home to you. And imagine that bringing them back to you too. And knowing that you're always connected, really, no matter where you are, you're always connected, and they're always
I was reading Denise Lynn's, Hay House author Denise Lynn's Energy Strands book last week, and she talks about how sometimes a dog or a cat will go hundreds of miles. They got lost, and then the family moves or something happens, and then they show up 1,000 miles or something. And she said it's because we have those energy strands connected, and they're following that energy, because they can't smell 200 miles away, or
right.
How could they do it? So it's that energetic spiritual connection, right?
Right. And when you said I found her, I thought that was interesting that she found you too, and it was like an agreement and divine timing that you were going to meet at that time. And she takes her work with you.
I got to tell the story. So back in 2011, we just moved into this house. We moved from Hollywood to a house, and I had before. I had a little Yorkshire Terrier called Daphne for 17 years, and she was everything to me. She was 3.5 pounds. I mean, just a doll. And she died in 2007. So then we were living in an apartment. We weren't supposed to have a dog and stuff, so didn't have a dog. But when we moved to the house, all our friends were like, "Are you going to get a dog now that you have a house? Are you going to get a dog?" And I said, yes, but I'm going to probably wait a year, because I really want to make sure I get the right dog, because we don't have kids. When I get a dog, it's everything for me. It's I have to have a female dog. She has to be a small dog. She has to have the right personality. I have a prototype of what I want, and I'm just going to, and I said, you know what? I think if, what's going to happen is I'll be walking down the street one day, and there'll be a dog there that's just that's a female small, and then I'll find her, and that's how it's going to be. 3 weeks after I said that, Adolfo and I had a little tiff, and I said, I'm going to go take a walk. I was mad. And so I took the mail, and I was going to go mail it at a public mailbox. So I walk out to the main street, a very busy street, and I'm walking along, and I see this little black dog sitting on the corner on the sidewalk. And I said, "Who are you?" I said, "What are you doing?" And she came and walked behind me. I picked her up, and she was like 11 pounds, and she licked my cheek. And I'm holding her. She had no collar, nothing. And so I'm looking around, and I see this woman around the corner with a briefcase on a cell phone. I said, "Hey, excuse me, is this your dog?" And she says, "No." She says, "And actually, I was trying to get her to come to me, and she wouldn't, and I didn't want her to run into the busy street, so I just left her. And I'm really kind of insulted, because I'm an animal rescuer." And she wouldn't come to me, but she went straight to you. And so then I was like, okay, well, so I carry her home, all the way home, and I walk in the door, and Adolfo, my husband, is back cleaning the swimming pool, and I walk, and I was going to go look for the owner, but he goes, "What are you doing with that dog? Go put that dog back where you found it." He says, I don't want to fall in love with that dog. And so I was like, oh. So I left and I went next door to our friend's house and borrowed a leash and collar. And I walked her for hours and knocked on doors and looked everywhere, and there was no flyers. And then the next day I went and looked, everywhere again all week. And I even took her to see if she had a chip, no chip, nothing. So then I said to Adolfo, I said, well, can we keep her? And he said, sure. And it was so, and we were so attached, and she just looks at me and looks at me. And then recently I asked a spirit guide, I do these sessions with a trance channel, and I asked this spirit guide, Red Eagle, about me and Macy having past life together. And he says, she was your camel in North Africa when you were a Berber. Wow. And it's so funny. I'm going to pop up this picture on the screen in here. I went and walked in my room one day and I looked, and I have this big, well, you see it here, this picture of a camel. My family lived in Iran in the 1970s, and my dad bought this beautiful painting of a Kurdish man with a camel, and they're smiling, and I just look at it and they're so happy together. And I said, that's me and Macy. I mean, what a coincidence that's my favorite painting. And when my mom said, do you want anything from, because she's older now, and sometimes she'll say, if you want something, take it. And I said, I want that painting. And that's the one thing I have right now, is that of like me and Macy as a camel and her owner. But we're so connected, it's unreal. And so I'm sure that why wouldn't she have gone to that lady? She came to me. So anyway, what do you have to say about it?
It was meant to be like a soulmate, a familiar type. And a lot of times too, I'll be working with people and they're surprised, but then once they hear it, that makes a lot of sense. If they've had past lives with that animal, or that the agreement was that this dog was going to come at this time to help be a spiritual teacher for them, and just the profound messages that come through. It's so beautiful to hear. And once you know what's going on with the pet, and maybe if they're just sitting in a room and they're taking a nap, they're doing a lot more for you than they're setting the energy of the space, and they're balancing it.
Yeah, they're healers, right? They're healers.
Oh yeah, they're healers. I would notice too where they go. I always am so amazed to see, like, if you might, for example, I remember being home once and my mom got a phone call that one of her bosses, her really close friend for many, many years, had passed away. And right away, this cat, Max, who that was her cat, he put his paws right on her at the time she was getting the news. I knew he was giving her healing. And they're doing that for us. And you're talking about putting the intention out. I remember that's what it's all about. When I was at Petsmart and I said, I really love to rehabilitate animals that have been through tough, tragic, traumatic backgrounds. And I love that. And that's when I started working at the Fund for Animals with that cat colony and just doing healings on them. And people said, oh, they'll never warm up to people. They're never going to be domestic. No, they love people now. I have everybody, all the people that worked at the Fund for Animals, all the biologists, everything, they started talking to them because they knew it worked. Yes. You talk to them and you see the difference, and they open up to you and they open their heart, and you can open your heart. And even walking down the street, you're sending messages and respect to the animals that you meet, and even the wildlife. Mm-hmm. I mean, we have birds in our backyard, and how they communicate with each other, the hummingbirds, they chase off certain, the eagle or the bigger birds from the doves. I mean, there's a whole system. There's birds that are on the roof that are communicating something, and there's so much more going on, and they're so aware of your thoughts. And I'll be somewhere, farm sanctuary I've gone to, and I'll just send a thought out to one of the animals there, like a cow or something, and they'll look at you, or they'll come forward. If you just put it out there and get out of your head and get into your heart, there's so much is possible. And that bond between us and animals is amazing. And usually you were talking about Daphne, like she's always with you. Even do you still feel her around you?
Well,
Even
yeah,
though
see, so Macy would look, she would look in the room, and she hasn't done it lately, but she would always be looking, and you could see she's watching something. And then I asked Red Eagle, the spirit guide, and he says, yeah, there's a small dog in your house. There's a little light. And I said, oh, and he didn't know anything about that. And I says, that's Daphne. And he goes, yeah, Daphne is there. She's talking to Macy. She's there.
And that's amazing. And that's what happens. Sometimes they do go into spirit and they send us another pet.
And they have such a similar personality. I mean, everyone who meets Macy is like so astonished. She's the sweetest, most extraordinary dog, and so smart, and knows all these words that I don't even teach her. One time, she knows a lot of tricks too. I taught her. And then I remember one day I was just standing in the kitchen, and I said to myself, and I never taught her these words, and I said, oh, I think I'll go swimming. Macy comes shooting out like a bat out of hell and runs out the doggy door and goes and sits by the pool and waited for me. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm like, I never taught her that word. There's a bunch of words. She hears me and she understands it. It's
and
really,
you probably, maybe when you had the thought, had the image of you in the pool and what that would be like, and that's what she can pick up on.
Yeah, but a lot of our words, and she remembers them, the words. Yeah,
and they're incredible. And did she want to do a little sample healing?
Yeah. But I also want to mention one other thing. So like when I'm laying by the swimming pool, laying out in the backyard, and all these, we have tons of birds in the backyard and trees and blah, blah, blah. And I could just feel one day, it was just like balancing my chakras, all those little chirps, those little songs.
Wow.
It was like balancing. And then Red Eagle once said we were in a circle of light at an event that Riz had, who's channels Red Eagle. And he said, and there was like real strong cricket sound, really strong. And he says the crickets are like coordinated with the human. That sound, it like balances us. It does something to us. So like because we're connected with the natural world, like you were saying. And so some of their sounds and stuff work with the human system. So I thought
I love that. And and starting to look at life too as being there to happen for you, not to you, where if you see an animal, like get excited about that. Like I remember one time seeing an owl and like, wow, I love that I just saw an owl. What does that mean? What is that? And I love to look up like the meaning of different animals that come through. And I know you do card readings.
I do the animal card readings.
Yeah. Yes. And do you love working with them? Do you have them handy?
Okay, so before we work with Macy, I'm going to pull everybody an animal card, and sometimes I go on Facebook Live, you guys, on Sundays and do animal card readings for people. So be sure to check that out. All right. This is for anybody watching this at any time. This is a message from the animal spirit. The ant spirit, time to collaborate. So this is a great message for now, what's going on. The country seems so divided, and there's a lot of animosity and things going on. And so the ant comes in to tell us all to remember that we are all connected, and to look at each person as the spark of light that they are, and that they're beautiful. And no matter what somebody's personality may be, if you don't agree with them, remember collaboration in sending each other healing is the key. And
beautiful.
All right, and then there's the nightingale spirit. Love is all around. Love is all around, and they are certainly all around with our pets. So, all right, I'm going to grab Macy.
Okay.
Okay, Macy. Here she is.
Hi, Macy. Hi, sweetheart. Oh, she's so. Can you say her name 3 times?
Okay, Macy Martenson, Macy Martenson, Macy Martenson.
Oh, she is so cute. She's very sophisticated. She's coming through right now. She's telling me, yes, I do very important work. We do important work together, and I take it very seriously. And I love to be pampered. I love to be pampered. I am loving this energy work that you're doing. I'm very familiar. I've had all sorts of treatments done. She says she's very familiar with it. I'm feeling pretty good. She's I don't know if she has any arthritis going on or anything in her joints.
I'm not sure, but occasionally she'll get a little stiff or limp, and then she's fine. So, she is 10, I think.
Yeah, I just kind of breathe. And then I do with my sessions, I like to do a co-creative thing with the pet parent too, so that I teach you techniques to kind of do, and we do it together. And it works through the computer screen too. And I actually will have a little surrogate pup stuffed animal where I can kind of show you what I'm doing, and that you can do it too. But the first thing I always do is kind of rub my hands together, and you can comb through their space, like over their head all the way down, kind of comb through, and not where you're touching them, but just kind of comb through, especially if they're on any kind of medicine. It really helps to clear out their energy field and help, and they love it. So just kind of doing that, starting there, just to kind of clear out, and then I do kind of like a little clearing for them, and then see where I'm drawn to. If there's any place on the body where it feels like a little congested, and I'm kind of connecting to you through remote healing here. And there you go. Lift her up a little bit more. Yeah, I just feel tightness in the neck.
Oh.
So, and that's kind of like, if I feel, I'm wondering too if you feel any tightness in your neck or anything, but I just feel a little
mine, yeah, but I don't know about hers.
Well, that is, sometimes they pick up. Remember, I was saying that they'll hold on to things too. So if you're having a little ache and pain, sometimes they will have the same thing because they're holding that for you. So what I'll do is I'll just kind of keep my hand in that spot, and you can do it too, where you have just one hand over that spot, and you'll start to feel heat.
Mm-hmm.
You still feel some heat there. And you might see when you do this with your pet, they might start to yawn or fall asleep, and that just means they're taking in the energy around the neck. Just kind of feel that, and then into the shoulders too, the shoulder area.
She's heavy. Ooh, you're a heavy girl.
She's so good at seeing stuff. Yeah, she's like, that feels great. And then I always put, sometimes in this, see how she's yawning right now? Yeah. Big yawn. Kind of taking in the energy. I'll put my hands by their ears too, like both hands or hands by their ears. And that helps a lot with the trauma. Kind of putting up like blinders around. If you want to clear a traumatic memory they might be holding on to. Giving them a safe space to release anything that's holding them back, just like us people, where we have memories that are not great, but that might be limiting us. So I will put my hands kind of by their ears and just kind of comb through that space. She does seem like she has a lot on her mind. She's very much in her mind. Yeah, she's very like in her mind right now.
What are you thinking about, Macy? Do you want to say hello to everybody? Say hello.
Hi, what are you thinking about, girlfriend?
Talk. 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 You can talk. You want to talk? Are you talking? Are you talking? What do you want to say? You want to be a wolf? You're my black wolf. You're talking. Yeah.
She's like, I should have my own YouTube show. Look how awesome I am. I'm giving everybody a blessing. I love this. This is so cool. I need a microphone. I see her with a microphone, and she's just like on stage giving a speech. She's giving a speech like, you are all blessed and loved from above. And yes, she's definitely one of those angels on earth, and she's balancing you. If she ever does she put her paws on your shoulders or and any area on you ever?
Not really. I mean, not in specific.
I see her kind of being being mindful of where she's walking, because with her steps, she's blessing the space, but she's very aware of energy. And I feel like sometimes coming from her right now, she just thinks things go very fast. too, and she's got a message for you to be in the moment and not get far ahead of yourself. That's what she's saying. Like, let's just take a step back. I just saw a track, actually, like you're racing around a track.
Yeah.
And I see you like racing around a track, and she's like running behind you, like, slow down, stop here, let's go look over here. And that's your inner child that she's connecting with, where your inner child is connecting with her, saying, let's go look down this path, or let's go down this corner, and let's just check this out instead of getting to the next hurdle. And jumping over that and just taking a minute to see what's around in that space and explore. Does she go on adventures with you?
Oh yeah, I mean, we take 2 walks a day. She's come up to Seattle with me before. I'll take her to the park, or I'll take her to some places, and I'm always teaching her new tricks, practicing the tricks she's got, and she loves doing the tricks. And she's around energy healing a lot, because if I have a client come here, she's holds space, or when I'm doing distance, she's sitting there next to me. I usually do it in the evening, so it's like dark with the candles, and she's holding the space. And for that,
and I would be open to hearing from her messages for the client too, when you're working with a client. She takes the work very seriously. So when you're saying this is what we've got going on today, let her know. But she'll already know. But then I think it would be fun to ask her, well, what do you think? Would you want to add anything to this? And see what she tells you. Yeah, because
when somebody comes over and they sit on my little love seat here in my office, my sanctuary, and she'll come and sit next to them. I mean, she loves people coming over, so she'll come and sit, and she'll put her paw right on their leg.
Okay, yeah.
It's like, yeah.
And I feel like her message too, she's a star. She's definitely a star like you. And I see her on stage, and she's all about being in love. Just love, as a lot of animals are here to teach us about love.
Yeah.
Getting into the heart. I feel a lot with her heart too, her over her heart chakra, which is like right here.
Yeah.
You're taking a lot of energy there. And just to guard your heart, be very gentle with your heart too.
She's the best.
Where'd she go? Did she take off?
She's here. She sits down there.
Oh. Okay, let me see. Do you have any messages for the people? She's showing me like a game. Oh, she loves the cards. She's like seeing all the cards, and she loves the cards. She's like, pull another card.
Oh, okay.
Let's pull a card. Yeah.
Let's pull a card. You pick it. Oh, look, she's look at.
Yeah. She loves the cards. My gosh, she's licking the cards. Pick a card, Macy.
Oh, look, she's picking. Okay, she picked this one. She licked it. Okay, this is Macy's card for you guys. The Stag Spirit, take the lead.
Wow.
Beautiful. Look, Macy, what do you think?
Look at that.
Is that the one you picked? That's the one you picked?
So what does that card mean?
What does it mean, Macy? Take the lead.
I get a sense it's like take the lead of anything that you feel is off, that in the world or in life, you do something about it. Don't give your power away. Stand in your own power and express yourself. And even if you feel like you can't make a difference, you can.
Yeah.
And the best thing you can do is to heal yourself.
Yes.
To work on yourself, because then when you can heal yourself, you can serve at a higher level for the people and the pets around you. And just loving life and being present. She says that you guys have a lot of fun together. You have a very busy schedule. She's talking about your busy schedule.
But we're always together because I work from home. So pretty much, 24/7. So unless I have to go out to do something, but we always have so much fun. We're just stopping, running, playing, cuddling.
Yeah. And I want to show you another technique that you can do regularly. This one I do a lot, so I'll show on this. But what I do, after I kind of I start usually by clearing out the field here, their energy field. And then what I'll do is I'll start at the base of their spine and kind of build up and kind of balance all the chakras there, where I feel the energy is balanced, and then move to the next one, move to the next one, move to the next one. And sometimes just having your hand right over a spot on their body is very calming and healing for both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Just doing that. And that helps. Sometimes they'll be very disjointed, like the top half is not really connecting to the bottom half, or like they're in their head a lot, like they're people, and they need to get balanced from that hairline here, get that energy moving up so that everything's connected. And then you can also run energy. Once you do that, you go through all of their chakras here, up the body, the heart, third eye, the head. What you're going to do is you can balance out the energy too, where you put your hands out like this and run up and down, like imagine energetic light going up and down their body to balance everything out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also connect them to their brightest star in the universe. So I'll say connect to the brightest star. Wow. And then their core crystal, which I do at the base of their spine. I connect them to the core crystal of the earth.
And you do a diamond activation too for pets and people.
Yes, yeah, I do a diamond activation. That's just helping them step into their diamond self that humans do too. It's just, what is the biggest and best expression of your soul on this earth, and can you claim it and step into it? Because your soul is already there. You already have it. It's just, you see the vision, but now it's about taking the steps and having the courage to have the path be revealed to you. And through energy, just opening yourself up to receiving the energy, balancing out your chakras, connecting to your pet. Your pet can help you too with healing. But because they're taking on so much energy, we don't realize that. What are some things we can do to support them? Mm-hmm. Is it opening a window? Is it getting some fresh air in? Is it going for a walk, going for a drive? Is it just spending that 5 minutes a day, petting them and looking into their eyes and seeing what are messages that you have for the family? Or for, what do you think about this situation? Consult them as a friend and see what comes to you. Maybe it's a picture, maybe it's a feeling. Maybe you won't get the message right away, but a day later or an hour later, it'll come to you. And they are helping you see the answer. You can just connect with them and know. But with her, with Missy, yeah, I feel like she's a teacher. She's doing the work and she's showing up. Yeah. And she's telling us to show up for your life. Show up. You have the divine appointment. Don't get into the negative energy at all. Don't even put attention to it. Don't get there. Focus on the positive. Focus on what you can do. Focus on what you love doing. Yeah, she's a teacher. She's wise.
She's wise. She's amazing.
A lot of the messages I get from people, I think they're just surprised to know how wise their pets are. Mm. And they all come through with different personalities too, and different tones or felinality or, equinality. They have their little ways of communicating with us, and they have an aha moment when they hear it, like, oh, that's what they meant by that. Like, I had a horse once show me a party. Well, he wanted the party to be for the person. Just have a party for herself, enjoy life, like take a break. So just really staying still. And I think that's what happens a lot with pets, is whatever work we do, they're doing it as well.
So people maybe who lost a pet, they might want to have a healing session with you and get aligned and connected with their pet, and
Yeah, so I will relay messages, and I like to, and sometimes when a pet's at the later time in their life, I will connect and help the pet parent come to the conclusion of what really is best, and how to communicate with their pet so their pet can tell them when they're ready, and honor them, and so that they go when it's their time and they are wanting to go. But they are still with us. I say they still live on in our heart. They can't leave us. They're with us forever, and we can still communicate with them, and they're free of the pain body at that time. They're just shedding their body. That's all that happens. And so we can still connect with them. We can still get messages, and beautiful messages come through. And that's where the spirit guide, they can help us so much more from the other side than they can even in their physical form here forever. So sometimes they pass on and say, I'm still going to work on these problems that we were working through on Earth together at this lifetime, I'm still going to help you with those, but just in a different way. And it might be some inspiration that you get, or a person that comes into your life, or a phone call, just something. Just be aware and be open. And like you said, have the intention. You have the intention of what you wanted to do. I remember my husband at the time was my boyfriend, and he was like, I can't have any pets. I'm allergic to cats. So that's why I started volunteering at Petsmart. And for so long, but even before that, I would imagine myself like petting a cat. And I had even would draw pictures of cats and wear like cat sticker, like anything. And then, of course, I brought him with me one night when my friend was adopting a cat. And I told Perry, I said, look, I want to bring you home, but you got to convince him. And he did. He started like flexing his little paw with a little soccer ball toy and that one over Mike's heart. So now they're the best of buds. But I remember telling him, like, you got to get him to like it. But if there's some behavior change that you want to see, it's co-creative. Remember, you're working together. Is there something I'm not seeing? Did you
have your cat when you met your husband? Because if you had your cat 19 years,
No, I didn't. So he was 7 before I got him.
I see. Okay, he was an older cat. Okay.
Yep, we got Perry, and he's actually deaf. But of course, I talk to him just like I talk to anyone. He's deaf, but I say he hears with his heart, and he's a very wise teacher too. But he's my own pet, and I don't necessarily communicate with him all of the time. He's, I'm just like, just like anybody else. But then sometimes it's easier to talk to someone else's pet than my very own pet, but I still do get messages come through. And with, I wanted you to know too, I see Daphne with you as well. I definitely see her just, wow, she's like with this white, beautiful white background, and it's like snowing. I just feel like there's snow all around you, sparkling and just giving you blessings. And she's very connected to the angels. And she's very.
We lived in Chicago together for 7 years, and it snowed, and I always loved the snow, and so we'd go out.
Yeah, I see like little snowflakes that she's sending you, little blessings of love, and everything is meant to be. So she said that everything is meant to be, and that you are just a bright light in the world, and you're doing great work. And of course, Macy is like, I'm doing great. She's got a really high self-confidence, which is I love that.
She's over laying in her bed now with her head down, down cuddled in.
Yeah. And energy healing is something anyone can do with their pet. Like if you're already hanging out with them, you're running energy, you're sending them healing, and they're healing you too, just being with you and the space. So I would the best thing you can do for them to make them happy is you do the things that make you happy.
And it's our intention. So even if you haven't been attuned, like Kate and I have, we've been attuned to Reiki. You've been attuned to Reiki, right?
Yep.
So even if you're not attuned energetically by, you can still, with your intention, we all are energy and have energy flowing through us. So we can still, of course, do it. So
exactly. Intention and belief too. Believing that you're sending the energy, believing that you can communicate and that it's possible, and that you have the best outcome for the best and highest good of all involved, that you're sending the healing to them and that they're healing you too. So and you can give them a job to do. And sometimes even you can tell them, look, you don't have to hold on to all this energy for me. We need you to heal. That's another thing I often tell clients too, is to talk to them and say, you don't need to hold on to all this energy for me. It's okay. Let's take care of you and get your health back on track. She says she's a part of it.
Well, thank you, Kate, for joining us and sharing all of your gifts. And all of you, leave comments below about your pets, and do you connect with them? And if you want a session with Kate, her links are below. Her website's flashing up on the screen, and she has great sessions. I think just a half hour, an hour.
But 30, 40 minutes. I'd love to talk to you. It's diamondactivations.com. And I look forward to connecting with you and your pet. And I hope that you all have an amazing day. It was so awesome sharing this sacred space with you today, with you, Macy and Daphne.
So you guys, after you have your session with Kate, come back and leave a comment for everybody to let us know how it goes, okay? Much love, everybody. Until next time.